The debris field created by Hurricane Katrina is absolutely incredible. We are in the Edgewater Village parking lot, and all this wood you're looking at, including this piece right here, either a boardwalk or a pier from the beach. The beach is way over there. We are over here, must be a quarter of a mile away. Why do we know it came from somewhere way over there? Because one of the things we found in this debris is the material safety data sheets from the O'Charlie's restaurant. O'Charlie's happens to be in that general direction. So you can only imagine what Hurricane Katrina, her storm surge, and her winds lifted as she took all of this lumber and carried it from the beach right here to Edgewater Village.
Heavy equipment picks through the mangled metal that was Ocean Springs Seafood.
I expected it. I was here in '69 and we rebuilt it then, and I really expected to see what I saw.
Expecting the worst doesn't make it any easier to accept. Earl Fayard's family opened Ocean Springs Seafood back in 1952.
You know, judging from Camille, which was our standard, if we came through Camille, we were okay. Yeah. But now there's a new standard, a new bar.
Amid the ruins of the family business, Fayard preferred to find a bright side.
We had water about 4 to 6 inches from coming in the house on 3 sides of the house, but none came inside. So we feel blessed for that.
Down the street, Front Beach apartments are unrecognizable. One former resident says it looked like the entire complex had been dropped in a giant blender. Spray paint markings direct insurance adjusters around the mess. A notice from the building official sadly states the obvious. Katrina not only destroyed many of the homes and buildings here along Front Beach, the storm also took aim at the dozens of stately oak trees that line this waterfront. Some of the trees were badly damaged, others were completely uprooted by the storm. Steps to nowhere are a common sight along East Beach.
Never in my wildest dreams imagined anything like this could come through.
More like a nightmare storm that destroyed Jeff Noblin's home of 3 years. The storm surge left precious little behind as it slammed ashore. The house may be gone, but the memories and determined spirit remain.
I will build back, though. It's just it's wonderful to see the shrimp boats going out in the morning, and the views that you have. It's just it's very sobering when you lose your life and start over.
Starting over is the only choice Katrina left behind here. Steve Phillips, WLOX News.
Al Frank is putting the finishing touches on his new deck. It's one thing he needs to make his camper trailer livable.
My relative says, well, it's too small. There's no storage place. I said, why do we need storage space? We don't have anything left to store. Dining room.
Frank can't believe Katrina washed his 3-bedroom home right off the slab.
It was built to withstand storm. The rafters at the peak were bolted together rather than nailed. We like to, build it back about like it was.
So 10 days after the storm, Frank came back to start the process. But he says it's not that easy. Everything takes time.
Things that used to take me a half an hour to do now take me 2 hours to do.
Every day, a laundry list of chores. Today, he needs to get an update from the insurance company and buy some propane.
My hot water and our refrigerator run off of propane. I got to go do that.
He's also been collecting pieces from his old home.
Is that your brick?
Yeah,
from your house?
That came off my house.
Now, how do you know that that's your brick and not your neighbor's brick?
Well, because I'm the only one that had Oldsmobile brick.
Those bricks, along with his sprouting tree, give Frank reasons to keep going.
It's hard to accept it, although, you think a minute and you have to.
And Frank says, of course, living in a camper is not something he wants to do forever.
Oh, no. No, I don't think I could handle this for the rest of my life, although I'm 80 years old, and that might not be too long.
In Pascagoula, Jamie Goad, WLOX News.
Wendy Gaspard's home in Diamond Head is gone. It's set just a block from the Bay of St. Louis.
We've been living here 9 months, and this is what we have left.
A week after the storm, this is Wendy's first time back to the house that used to look like this. She finds pieces of her family's lives here.
But I didn't expect to see the little things that I saw, and just those little things make me happy that those little things were there.
Like this little Christmas
Yes.
This one of these little things?
It's an ornament of a reindeer I found.
As thrilled as she is to uncover anything from underneath debris, Wendy says life is so much more important.
I have my life, but I'm also grateful. My brother-in-law and his son was stuck in a tree in the flood, and they got out alive. So I'm very grateful.
That's another amazing story of survival.
Come through it, the tree's still there and everything I put together still there.
When rushing water made escape impossible, Wendy's brother-in-law, his son, and their dog rode out Katrina's fury in a makeshift raft.
First we went up on top of the roof, and then when the water level got to the point that it was lifting the roof up and breaking it apart, we switched over to one of the trees that had fallen onto the house and made a makeshift raft to ride out the storm, and that's what we did.
Makeshift raft out of what? What did you do?
Well, we used the debris that was coming out of the stuff. In fact, that's the tree right here. And there's the beams and everything from the back. And I used that to do cross pieces and using the tree itself as a keel. My son stayed on the front part, and I stayed on the back, and we basically held longitudinals with the other stuff there to keep it together.
After about 6 hours, the storm passed, leaving them all drenched but alive, with their home in shambles around them.
It's just possessions. You can always get more. It's no big deal.
The nearby yacht club, or what's left of it, is the staging area for officers from several law enforcement agencies in Florida, working with Mississippi officers. They're here to help with water rescues, make sure property owners get in and out safely, and to keep boaters off the water by order of the Coast Guard.
There's a lot of hazards out there. There's also some contaminants out there, and we're trying to keep the people out of there so they don't get hurt.
Burton and his Florida colleagues are hurricane veterans.
I've had to go to too many of these, and this one reminds me a lot of Andrew from back several years back in Miami with the devastation that occurred. But yeah, it's a bad storm.
Wendy Gaspard and Don Holler can't deny that, but not bad enough, they say, to stop them from rebuilding the homes they love. In Diamond Head, Marcia Hill, WLOX News.
The Purlington community was one of the hardest hit in Hancock County. Purlington borders the Mississippi-Louisiana state line, a 3-minute drive from here. In this neighborhood, residents say water rose more than 16 feet, flooding out most of the homes in here.
Everything's gone. I mean, it's just totally ruined. There's nothing salvageable out here.
Unable to live in her Oak Harbor home, Jackie Blackwell and her neighbors have set up living quarters in a friend's camper that managed to survive the devastating storm.
You got to do the best that you can, you know. We got our health, we got our people, you know, we got our friends, we got our children, they're all alive. We even got our animals, you know, some of them, you know. Unfortunately, there's some of us that didn't make it, but, you know, we can't dwell on that. We got to just go on.
The magnitude of it is mind-boggling. When people say, I lost my roof, I lost this, I'm guessing tens of thousands of homes are gone. And on the south side of Hancock County, almost everyone flooded.
Mitchell and Barbara Fairley were inside their Purlington home when it began taking in water.
The door wouldn't open, so we had to break out the front glass on the west side of the house.
Fairley, his wife, and 2 sons thought they were safe once they fought their way to the roof.
When the water got up to the rooftop, the house shifted. It floated away out the blocks. And our van was parked in the backyard, so our van acted like an anchor post. And that's what stopped it from going in front of it.
With wind, rain, and waves crashing against their bodies, the Fairley clan spent nearly 9 hours on the roof before they could make their way to safety.
It's unfortunate some people didn't make it. Some people did, you know, some people still, they find them now, seniors and young people. So we just thank for Jehovah we're here today.
In Hancock County, Al Showers, WLOX News.
This was a great place to live. We got a lot of memories.
Dale Wilkinson moved to Eagle Point 3 years ago because of the gorgeous waterfront view, but he never expected to see this view.
It's pretty tragic.
Hurricane Katrina shattered the dream home he built with his son Jake on Biloxi Back Bay and scattered their belongings everywhere.
It just took our living room, bedrooms, it took everything completely out. And we're finding our refrigerators 2 blocks away. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Wilkinson is amazed that the frame of his house is still standing, considering that when you look all around his property, you see that all of his neighbors' houses are gone.
1, 2, 3 right here. One over there is 4.
That's Mike's house, 5. Evans lived next to him, 6.
In fact, a drive through the Eagle Point subdivision is a drive through devastation. Everywhere you turn, there are piles of debris, pilings and slabs where homes used to stand, or houses gutted or toppled by Katrina.
The day before the storm, we wrote a check for $4,000 for hurricane shutters. I'm serious, the day before.
Wilkinson and his son may have lost their home, but they can still hang on to their memories.
And here it is. Everybody from here has got one. It's a jelly glass with bunny rabbits on it, but it means something to him. You know, his great aunt gave it to him, but it survived.
Every piece that looks like junk in the rubble is a treasure, including the T-shirts Wilkinson collected on his motorcycle adventures.
There's Harley Davidson from the French Quarter. That doesn't exist anymore.
As they struggle to recover from the disaster, the Wilkinson boys are already talking about rebuilding.
Like I said, I'm retired and he's beginning his life, so if he wants to be here, then I think we'll probably rebuild, and he can have it. When it starts to look like rain, I'm heading north, though.
In Woolmarket, Trang Van Bui, WLOX News.
Claremont, Tobert is a beautiful area located right by the water, but once inside, total devastation thanks to Hurricane Katrina.
The tranquil beauty of the Bay of St. Louis was twisted into a tsunami early Monday morning. The tidal surge left a trail of destruction throughout Claremont, Tobert, miles and miles of rubble. Anything in its path didn't stand a chance.
Good girl.
Evangeline Doyle and her husband Raymond were picking up the shattered pieces of what's left of their lives. This is all that's left of Gail's childhood home and present-day residence, a pile of bricks, wood, and broken trees.
We kind of knew from the people that told us ahead of time that there was nothing left. I just walked around and cried for 30 minutes, walking and looking at everything that we had and thinking of all the things I lost.
Ain't nothing left down there, like you said about the other.
Raymond McCall and his wife made sure their animals, stray dogs and cats, would have shelter. So he built a makeshift home from hurricane debris. With so much destruction, will Raymond rebuild his home?
Oh yeah, we had insurance. We're gonna rebuild and we're gonna make it better than ever. No quitting us. I mean, we can't quit. We got our animals here. Got everybody else's animals to help take care of. We got to stay right here on the front line.
Most folks knew her only as Miss Liz, a lady they loved. Unfortunately, she became a victim of Hurricane Katrina. Her body was found right amongst those pine cones.
No, we talked to her 2 days before it. I said, you gonna get out of town for this home? She told us, yeah, but then she said, but I don't think it's gonna come towards us. I'm gonna ride it out. If so, she said, because if my house goes, I'm gonna go with it.
My mother's lemon pie plate.
Lisa Brassfield was picking up what was left of her home and her mother's home. Lisa, her husband, and brother did what they could in salvaging the few items that remained.
We have cried and cried till we can't cry anymore. You know, it's just like what my mother, oh, she's 75. And of course, this was her full-time home. It used to be in Chalmette. We also have a house, my house is in Chalmette. That who knows when I'm gonna get there, you know. But in the last year or two, she had been coming here full-time and had everything of hers up here. She said, this is my whole 75 years of working and collecting and everything here, and it's just gone.
This statue of Jesus propped up against a tree in Purlington says it all. The eyes are reminiscent of the eyes of most coast residents, showing despair, sorrow, and disbelief. Residents are tired and would just like to sit back and relax just for a minute. From Hancock County, A.J. Jardina, WLOX News.
We're here in the Lakeshore community, and this is the log cabin. The folks who stayed in the log cabin experienced something they never want to experience again. It was a total nightmare.
Gail Gibson, her husband, and 10 other people decided to ride out Hurricane Katrina inside a laundromat next to the log cabin lounge. They felt like the building was sturdy, able to withstand hurricane winds. However, besides winds of 160 miles per hour, a tidal surge ripped through the Lakeshore area.
I almost drowned out here. We had a total of at least 15 feet of water. Went through to the attic. We all got inside, went into the attic. The water started coming in there. They broke through the roof, and they had about 175-mile-an-hour winds. There's 12 of us, one girl 9 months pregnant. We had to climb over the roof. They put 2 little boards together, walked across the boards onto the roof of a trailer, walked across the trailer, put 2 more little boards, and climbed through a window this big on a 2-story that Mr. Quavers is building next door.
Tragedy would strike. A lady sleeping in a Winnebago became a victim of Hurricane Katrina.
A girl named Linda that lives in a campground next door, she was sleeping, and the water started coming in her camper, and she couldn't get out. It floated the camper. So she tried to get out through a vent in the roof, and she got stuck, and her head was stuck on top of that camper, and she drowned. We watched her drown, and she stayed there for 3 days before they can get her body out of there. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, the worst.
Gail is just one of many coast residents who have chilling stories to tell. A life-changing experience for most. From the Lakeshore community, AJ Jordina, WLOX News.
It's hard to believe that Nguyen Nguyen is still alive. Just look at what's left of his shrimp boat. He actually rode out the hurricane on board the vessel, docked at the Industrial Seaway in Gulfport.
There's always been a safe place to dock our boat during a storm. The traffic was so bad before the storm, I decided to stay on the boat.
Nguyen hung on as the waves whipped his boat around. It was tied to 5 other boats, and when one of the ropes broke, they all slammed into each other.
The waves were really high. The boat was rocking back and forth. I was afraid to get out because I might get hit by debris or other boats.
The waves pushed the boats for about 4 miles until a huge boat blocked their path. Just like the name of his boat, Nguyen says it was by the grace of God that he survived.
I'm still sad because after years of working, my boat was destroyed.
Trung Nguyen owns the Captain Qua. He's trying to untangle the nets around his fan, the very nets that have pulled up shrimp for 20 years to feed his family.
Oh, really upset now.
A lot of boats were badly damaged here, more than 9, all Vietnamese.
For years, the shrimping industry has been the backbone of the Vietnamese community. The shrimpers say they may have been crippled by Hurricane Katrina, but they will rebuild and return to work.
When I get this boat out, I'll fix it and work on it again.
As for Nguyen Nguyen, he's thankful for calmer waters and still uncertain about his future.
If there's any money to help us rebuild, then I'll work again. But if there's no money available, then I have to find work somewhere else.
In Gulfport, Trang Pham Bui, WLOX News.
Just cut all this back.
Goucha resident Bill Van Horn spends every day clearing his property and looking for lost belongings.
My billfold was found in Seacliff, tables found, another subdivision. It's just amazing.
Van Horn works hard because there's no time to lose.
Just limb by limb.
He says it will take many months to rebuild what Katrina blew away.
15 to 20 minutes.
That's the time it took the hurricane to completely wipe his house off the slab. He knows because he watched from his 18-wheeler right off the beach.
Even though it was daylight, the rain was so thick and so hard, so fast that it still looked like nighttime. I never experienced anything quite like that.
Van Horn's neighbor and uncle, Fred Schaub, is thankful he didn't experience it. His daughter talked him out of staying for Katrina.
And I think there would have been same thing that happened at the house, done away with.
Schaub lost most of his home, virtually all of his belongings, and his independence.
I can't drive, can't do anything. I got to depend on everybody. And I have not ever had to depend on people.
Schaub, like his nephew, doesn't want to wait. He wants to hurry up and rebuild, this time a little stronger and a little smaller.
It'll be a 2-bedroom and an office and a lot of room for picnic tables inside so that all the family can come down and have sausage and biscuits on Sunday morning.
In Goucha, Jamie Goad, WLOX News.
She's one of Good Morning America's most visible faces, but in Pass Christian, Robin Roberts is the hometown girl.
Pass high, huh? Yep. Back in school in 2 weeks, right?
After seeing how Hurricane Katrina nearly wiped out her beloved city, Robin says she knew she would help.
I've had Mom and Dad when he was here, and Dorothy and the sisters. They've been on Good Morning America, so our audience felt like they knew, they know my family. So when they see me upset and crying, it put a face to it, and so it was a natural to want to be here and do as much as I can to help out.
Good Morning America is partnering with the Salvation Army and AmeriCorps to rebuild the city. Over the next year, GMA will document the progress.
It's going to require the largest volunteer mobilization in the nation's history. And we have AmeriCorps from all over the country here. We're going to be here for the next year, and we're really pleased to be working with GMA. They made a big commitment to help this town get back on its feet, and I think that's terrific.
The national media naturally covers a huge disaster like Katrina, but for Good Morning America, the story becomes more personal when it's one of their own.
But even just this morning, I was on the phone with her and we're planning out the rest of our day, and I heard her say, oh God, and I just knew she was seeing something destroyed that she hadn't noticed yet. And I said, Robin, I'm so sorry. And she said, I'll call you back, and this happens to her, we'll be going at a furious pace and she'll hit a wall, and we remember that these are real people, like our friends.
There are so many people Robin is reaching out to.
The first time I was here, people kept saying to me, don't forget us, don't forget us, don't let anybody forget us. And that's our intent, not to let the past or the Gulf Coast be forgotten.
Good man. Thanks.
In Pass Christian, Marcia Hill, WLOX News.
Jim tried to prepare me, but I wasn't prepared.
Until 9 days ago, residents at Compass Point had breathtaking views of this charming West Harrison County community. Now that view showcases a collection of homes, businesses, cars, boats, and trees that Hurricane Katrina chewed up and spit out.
Is it the best or the worst view now?
Oh, it's perfect now. I can see everything.
Laughter hides a lot of pain. Wednesday was the first morning Compass Point town homeowners could get south of the railroad tracks to see what Katrina did to their waterfront homes and to their town.
Well, we don't have anybody dead, and we're safe, and all my friends that I've contacted are safe.
When you look around you at what used to be here, what used to be your neighbors, and really what used to be on this property.
I know. I've cried enough.
Looks like a war zone, I guess you'd say, huh?
While Pass Christian Police Chief John Dubuisson drove us through his town, he stated the obvious. The monster destroyed everything.
And, as a citizen, my heart is here in Pass Christian. This is where I live at. And as chief, I've got certain things I've got to do, and right now it's keep people away from seeing what's left of their homes and stuff.
This is not the Pass Christian people like to remember. Instead, you think about the quaint shops. You picture the fishermen who always brought sacks of oysters back to the Pass Christian harbor. And of course, you remember the Mardi Gras parades you watched from right here on Scenic Drive. Rescue teams, though, will leave here with a much different picture of Pass Christian. They'll go home remembering the horror they saw as they searched every home on every street looking for Hurricane Katrina survivors.
Pretty much what you see right here is as far as you can go. It's just something you can't imagine. You got to see it for yourself.
Carl Gorbert did see the devastation for himself. Today, he needed a ladder to get into his townhome. He vows to eventually use the stairs again.
We'll rebuild. It's okay. This is too great of a place to live.
Downtown Long Beach along Jeff Davis Avenue is unrecognizable. Katrina hammered this small waterfront town with a vengeance.
From city line to city line in Long Beach, it's the same thing the rest of the coast has. It appears from the assessments we're seeing that Long Beach and Pass Christian took a pretty hard hit from this, and it's history from Camille. We're seeing more damage than what we have from Camille, and it's total devastation.
A drive along the beach on Highway 90 is a powerful testament to the intensity of storm surge. Water wiped out nearly everything.
Camille was terrible, and Katrina is unbelievable.
Amid the destruction and devastation, the focus this second day after is still rescue and recovery.
All we do right now is people.
I know it.
We just can't worry about the other yet. We're going to have to do that when it comes along.
Just before noon, we go on a rescue call on Magnolia. A neighbor heard knocking in a pile of debris.
Not answered, but a noise came back out of there.
A furious digging and cutting through the pile proves futile. This possible rescue effort may well become a recovery operation. The people of Long Beach are certainly stunned by this storm, but they are not defeated. Despite the devastation all around them, there's a determined optimism about the future. That's why public safety workers have been hanging American flags around town, a reminder of the community spirit that Hurricane Katrina could never sweep away. In Long Beach, Steve Phillips, WLOX News.
Look, just nothing.
Kathy Collins wanted us to see Coleman Avenue and the beach.
Kathy's house was down here.
Houses that once had breathtaking views of the Mississippi Sound no longer existed.
It's nothing.
Collins has been to Wavelin hundreds of times to meet with clients. This visit, 16 days after Katrina, was to find some of those clients and digest the magnitude of the hurricane's fury.
It's worse. It's worse.
The area looked so foreign to her. Nothing downtown was recognizable. Nothing was the same.
It's worse than I've ever seen. It's unbelievable.
This empty slab used to be Wavelin City Hall. It didn't make it, and neither did any other building on the road that used to be the heartbeat of this city. So when you look across the street, you obviously won't see a structure. However, you will see Brian Moller and what he's created, a makeshift Wavelin Town Hall.
It started because the day after the storm, I was one of the only people down here.
A variety of volunteers helped Moller clean his property. What used to be a home quickly became a gathering spot for neighbors.
I needed something to cut that line so he doesn't take my big wall.
Some neighbors picked up supplies, others left word about missing friends. Moller was their conduit. They became his link to better days ahead.
But it's kind of therapeutic to have people like this helping. I help other people. As you can see, we have all this stuff for people. So it's just like therapy, more or less. I guess that's what you call it.
Kathy Collins hoped this walk along Coleman Avenue would provide her own therapy. Instead, it simply reinforced the obvious. Hurricane Katrina was a monster.
This was my territory. There's just nothing. I didn't know what to expect, but it's worse than I could have imagined. It's awful.
This was Vicki Hughes' dream house. It's turned into a nightmare.
First coming over the hill, I was excited. It's like my house is still standing, and then you walk in and it's like, you know, you're not sure if you still want it standing or not.
It's at 1 block from the Bay St. Louis Bridge. The house may still be standing, but the storm sucked nearly everything out.
At least I've got stuff, pictures and stuff that other people don't have. I find belongings 2 blocks from here. And I ran nursing homes for 18 years, so I found pictures of residents and paintings that my residents did. My grandmother's china, my mother's first set of silver.
Now she's cutting out walls. Looking around, it's devastating.
Just the community that we loved is gone. You know, the little shops, second Saturday, I always went down to the little shops and had wine, and it's gone. But it's going to rebuild, I hope. We have nothing right now, but I'm hoping that everybody will come back and build it bigger and better.
But when I got down there, there was nothing. There ain't nothing left in Ringwood Point. There ain't a house in.
Colin Fountain found devastation in his old neighborhood off Racetrack Road in d'Iberville. Remnants of houses and boards from across Biloxi Bay are scattered along the streets.
I see my home gone. Everything I've ever had all my life is gone in one thing.
It's unrecognizable.
It's unrecognizable.
Unimaginable, devastating, destructive. Katrina was all that and more.
It's gut-wrenching.
We don't know what
Did you ever imagine this with that?
We
storm?
never imagined this.
Never.
We knew we couldn't stay. For sure, we knew we couldn't stay. We drove the back roads to Selma, Alabama is where we stayed.
Jeff and Joyce Malidi don't expect to find anything left of their house once they're able to make it down the street.
Worse than I ever could imagine, ever.
We walked further down Bird Avenue to survey the devastation and found this blocking our way. This is the top of what was a TV repair shop. It's now in the middle of the road. Before Katrina, it used to be over here, amid this pile of now blocks and debris. That's all that remains, the TV repair shop, the top of it, now in the center of the street.
It's Katrina now. It ain't no more Camille, it's Katrina.
Here's something sadly ironic. One of the D'Iberville streets ripped apart by Katrina was Happy Landing Lane. In D'Iberville, Steve Phillips, WLOX News.